Apparently, we now have pressure to come up with something witty to start these things with. But we're going to be talking about Brazil, and there's not. Just reading a couple of words from your notes: torture, drug dealing, racism, heinous crimes.
Those are all things you can go to jail for.
I know, but still, we're still there. And it speaks to how sort of. Am I right in saying there's a big problem with corruption in Brazilian politics?
Yeah.
So, in order to try and stop the police from taking sort of like extra measures to try and arrest people that would, in a way that would swing the election in favour of their particular candidate that they want to win, no one can be arrested except for sort of like serious crimes. Like torture, drug dealing, racism, that type of caliber of crime is the only reason why you can be arrested.
Yeah.
In the 5 days running up to the election.
Okay.
Because and 48 hours after, just because they don't want to ever have something like swing. Like you could just imagine it. I mean, the American elections happening at the moment. Could you imagine if the police were able to, like, sort of, were deciding the election by arresting Democrats or arresting Republicans based on their interest?
Yeah.
That's the fear that will happen in Brazil.
Yeah. So that's why they have the law in place. What do you think of that then?
It's sad it has to be a thing. Easiest way around it to me is to let prisoners vote.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
If they can vote, there's no...
There's no...
What do you reckon? Do you reckon prisoners should be allowed to vote? If we go for British politics, because that's closer to home sort of thing.
Yeah.
Would you say that prisoners should be allowed to vote?
Well, yeah, they're still people, aren't they?
They are, but they're in prison. They've done bad things.
Well, have they? Sometimes they haven't. And you just tripped their freedoms away, haven't you? Especially if it's for, like, non-violent crime.
Oh, so you think maybe for, like, particular people there shouldn't be a thing?
Well, I mean, it's always very difficult, isn't it? Like, because I personally think that you shouldn't go to prison at all for, like, non-violent or non-dangerous crimes. Like, I'm always going to stand by the kid selling a 10 bag of weed shouldn't go to prison.
Interestingly enough, dealing a 10 bag of weed would count as drug dealing, which is listed under one of the most heinous crimes. So you can still be arrested for selling a 10 bag of weed in Brazil leading up to an election. But yeah, I kind of stand with you on that. Like, I think we overuse prisons.
Yeah, I think people use it too much as just like a catch-all punishment and don't really think of what they're doing. It's like, it's literally a stripping of your human rights. So to be put in that situation, you've got to do something that's pretty bad.
Yeah, at least we're not as bad as some places.
Yeah, but still.
America. Have you ever seen they had to do a Sesame Street episode on prison because of the amount of kids that have their parents in jail?
Really?
Yeah, there's a Sesame Street episode explaining how prison works and why people go to prison and what it means and everything like that, because of the amount of children that have... It's something like 1 in 5 Americans is in prison, I want to say.
That's a crazy high number, are you sure?
It is a crazy high number, and I think it's fucking right, no? Sorry, I slightly out. 1 out of every 5 prisoners in the world is incarcerated in the US, but 1% of their population is. But America has 20% of the prisoners of the world.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 1%. So if you think of, we went to school with 300 people, which actually was probably a lot more than that, 6 of those people would be in jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, especially over there...
Did you say 20% of 300 was 6?
Well, what I did in my head was I was like, 300 people is too little, and I doubled it to 600 without mentioning it. But I was just going to cut it out.
That still wouldn't be 20%, would it?
No, 1%. It's 1%.
I thought you said 20%.
No.
I was just like, what's going on, man?
No, it's 1% because that's what I was saying. Is apparently it's 0.7% of Americans are in prison,
Right.
and so it'd be around about like if our school had 600 people, it'd be 5 or 6 people.
Yeah. Well, back to what's happening in Brazil. You say voting is mandatory there?
Oh yeah, this also goes into sort of like the election and everything. Voting is law, I think it is. When did he actually come into power, Bolsonaro?
2019. But he's like your standard, got Republican vibes. He's an opponent of same-sex marriage, homosexuality, abortion. Your standard.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah. Doesn't care about the environment.
Well, I mean, you can tell he doesn't care about the environment from the deforestation, can't you? I like how you've put big-ass rainforest in the notes.
Just explain to you what the Amazon is, Scott. Do you want to tell the people at home a bit about the Amazon?
I think you should take this one.
Should I? Right. The Amazon is a big-ass rainforest. No, the Amazon is the biggest rainforest in the entire world. 2/3 of which are within Brazil.
Okay. Who else has it then?
The rest being within Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, parts of Ecuador, Venezuela, and Guyana.
I tell you what I did find quite mad about the rainforest is that they still don't know how many tribes are in there. There's like some that they don't think have been discovered yet.
Yeah.
Which means there's still people living today which are living like prehistoric people lived in sort of like tribes and sort of like living off the land and doing all of that stuff, which I mean it just seems so distant from my experience sort of technology and all of that stuff. Like to me that type of lifestyle seems like something that should be in like the like 2000 BC, like not now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's yeah, there is a lot of indigenous tribes still out there. The Brazilian government has decided to leave them alone. It's the best way to do with them.
Yeah, there's like 650 reservations that are set up for them in the Amazon rainforest, which is it's really cool. It just seems like it's like one place where like humans haven't wrecked it, if that makes sense.
Haven't humans wrecked it?
I just realised what I said. I mean, humans haven't wrecked like the core of it. I don't know.
So no, it is deforestation has become a huge thing within the Amazon. Up until in about the 70s is when it really started to kick off with the deforestation. The main cause of which, and the main reason why, is to provide land for cattle, for mainly beef. So Brazil exports a lot of beef. So they cut down the rainforest so the cows can graze, and then they use the cows for beef. They also use a lot of the land to produce soybeans. Again, the soybeans are used to feed the cows and the livestock mainly. So throughout the 70s is when it began, up until about the early 2000s, in which it really started to become like a hot button issue. So the Brazilian government then put lots of reforms in place to stop the forest from being destroyed, because it's not just the fact that like it's like the amount of oxygen that is produced and stuff there, because it's just like it absorbs an insane amount of carbon emissions from all over the world.
Well, that's why they're called the lungs of the earth, aren't they?
Yeah. So really, like the Amazons are best thing for us to fight against climate change.
I always thought that deforestation was down to people wanting sort of like paper and wood in like as in like an export from Brazil. I didn't realise it was mainly being deforested for like farmland and everything.
It's most deforestation in the world today is for farmland, for producing meat.
So they're replacing the trees which get rid of carbon dioxide with the animals that make greenhouse gases.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. not the best, but
so they're doing worse than just cutting down the trees. They're replacing what was trees with the problem.
Yeah, I mean factory farming is one of the biggest like hits on the environment in the world right now. one of the worst things that contributes to climate change.
Yeah. Oof.
So yeah, not to get on my my vegetarian propaganda here or anything. So, in like the early 2000s, they decided that they had to put in place a lot of reforms for the Amazon. So 50% is just protected, like you can't touch it. There was the rest of the other half was under like the government sort of supervision, so you would have to go through a lot of permissions and stuff to use that land. They had a thing called IBAMA, which were basically like police in the police for the Amazon, so they would like make sure people wasn't like illegally deforesting it for their own ways. But when Bolsonaro took power, he immediately defunded that organization and transferred power from that branch to the ruralistas in the agriculture section, which is why we've seen a massive rise in the destruction of the forest in the past 2 years. Roughly, the main way it does get taken down is by bulldozing and setting fires. In August of 2019, there was over 30,000 fires burning in the Amazon.
Surely that's like just asking for trouble.
I mean, yeah.
Also, what do they do? What do they do when they come across a tribe that is like not been recognised yet, and they don't really know how civilization works? And so, surely the tribe is just going to murder the fuck out of them.
Not really. When like, if you're setting a fire, they're just going to run away, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you're in a big bulldozer, it's like a giant ass monster coming at them, like just ripping down the forest. Like they'll probably leave again.
Run away.
So far, 17% of the Amazon has been deforested. Experts say if we get up to 20 to 25%, it could begin to collapse the entire rainforest, as the trees wouldn't have enough water to like cycle through, because there's a process called like forest sweating where all the different trees can like produce their own water. But if so many of them end up going, then they won't be able to sustain themselves basically, and then the forest will start to collapse in on itself. So we're almost at that critical point.
Oh, so the water evaporates from the trees, making rain, which then waters the trees.
Well, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, photosynthesis just produces like a lot of moisture as it is. But yeah, it will cause that area of Brazil to get much hotter. If you think about it, Brazil's like on the equator, but it's a lot cooler than it is in Northern Africa. Qatar, yeah. And that is due to the rainforest. But yeah, it's very sad. The people on the other side of the argument will say that the Amazon is too protected and needs to be exploited more. Bolsonaro's environmental officials have been warned against his destruction of the rainforest, have been banned to speak out in public. One was interviewed by the BBC but to remain anonymous. The BBC offered 2 more ministers to interview, but they declined.
Well, yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, if he's a Trump level, isn't he? So he's not really all in on free speech.
The line that is often used is, only Brazil can decide what to do with the forest, even though it affects the entire world.
Well, yeah, I see where they're coming from with regards to that, but at the same time, don't the Brazilian people want the rainforest protected?
Again, they're split, aren't they? Like on any issue. Yeah. But, you know, it's not all doom and gloom down there, is it? Scott, the Brazilians, the smart people, and they've come up with a lot of inventive things over the years.
Well, a lot of the medicines have come out of Brazil just from the rainforest. I've just seen it. 25% of all drugs used today were derived from rainforest plants.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even more reason not to destroy that.
Cut it all down and destroy it, yeah.
Destroy that beautiful forest.
Well, try telling that to Brazilian Trump.
Well, I mean, one medicine that was developed there was polyvalent anti-orphic serum, which is used to treat poisonous snake bites and even spider bites. So basically, it's a catchall anti-venom. There are attempts to make this before this, and there was a successful attempt in 1895 by Sir Thomas Fraser, Professor of Medicine at the University of Edinburgh. However, this didn't catch on with the public and was only used for cobras. The Brazilian developed one in 1903, was for like all sorts of species, including spiders, was considered the first true multi-purpose anti-venom.
Well, that's damn useful there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's quite a few poisonous snakes and spiders.
One or two.
There was another medical discovery. It was in 1936. Manuel Diaz Abreu invented rapid radiography of the lungs for screening for tuberculosis.
That's cool.
In 1978, Marcos de Maris Gaius discovered that genetically engineered synthetic human insulin could be produced using E. coli bacteria.
Oh, yeah?
So they got quite a history of developing and discovering medical medicines. That's what I'm trying to think.
Medical medicines.
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I was like, medical what? Medicines. In 2000, Aaron de Andrade invented an artificial heart which is connected to the natural heart and powered by an electric motor. This is the world's cheapest artificial heart model, the only one that doesn't require an extraction of the organ, and it weighs only 700 grams.
Nice. 700 grams.
Yeah, very light.
Mm.
But they're also famous for not just for medicine, but also like technological developments.
Oh, are they? I don't know anything about this one.
So in 1932, Jose Braz Arepe, we've talked about pronunciation so many times with that one, like, he developed the first automatic transmission in cars using hydraulic fluid.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that was invented by the Brazilians was capoeira.
What's that?
Do you know the martial art capoeira?
Oh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
No. No. That is one, yeah. It's kind of in the name, yeah.
I'll be honest, you can see on your notes the marker that I scrolled to, I think. I'll give you a hint. It just says capoeira and in the next paragraph, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I just assumed. Anyways, what's capoeira?
Capoeira is a martial arts that was created by the African slaves that were brought to Brazil, because a lot of the slaves were brought to Brazil originally.
I think I saw a statistic that was like 82% of Brazilians can trace back their heritage to slavery. Massive issue for them.
Yeah. There's about 4.8 million slaves were taken to Brazil.
But yeah, how did they make it? Surely, like, slaves making a martial art, surely the slave owners would have stamped that out pretty quick.
Well, the thing with that was a way for them to practice their martial arts without being stopped by the slave owners, so they didn't rise up, was to make it look like they were dancing.
Right.
So the martial art looks very much like people breakdancing, and with like emphasis on handstands and kicks. Have you ever seen this?
I think maybe. I think I remember you showed me a video of it at one point.
It looks very cool.
But basically, it looks kind of like how you imagine action fight scenes looking in a film.
Kinda, yeah. Even cooler. There's all handstands and kicks and...
handstands, somersaults, all that stuff.
Yeah. You don't know if you ever played Tekken? You ever play Tekken?
No, I have never played Tekken.
You don't play Tekken?
No.
Oh. Well, Eddie from Tekken uses capoeira as his fighting style.
Oh, really?
And he's always the most fun person to play as.
Fair enough.
Another famous martial art they have is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which a lot of the UFC fighters used. The most famous practitioners of the style would be the Gracie family.
Are they from Brazil?
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
That's kind of like if you're gonna get trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if you want to do it like Gracie style, because that's like the big popular one. They're very famous, like in the martial arts community.
Right, so they're sort of like they're the ones that are progressing that martial art at the moment.
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu revolves around a lot of like holds and techniques, like stuff like that arm bar and things like that, and leg knee bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like UFC. I don't like. It's all gross to me. It's too much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of.
Boxing and like stuff like that I can kind of get behind, because I know that there's sort of like restrictions on what you can do. Like, I've never seen anyone's leg break in a boxing. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but it's not like the intention.
Yeah.
Whereas fucking UFC is just too much, if that makes sense.
It is quite brutal sometimes. Like, I'm not a big fan of UFC. I don't really. I'm a WWE guy. I like my pro wrestling over.
Fake wrestling.
We're not going to get into the debate of that right now. So why is it called the Amazon, Scott? Is it like an ancient Greek tribe? But this is in South America. It's not in Greece.
Well, I thought it was because of the Amazonian River.
Yeah, but why is the forest? Yeah, the forest and the river, which again is the largest river in the world, are named after the same thing.
Surely.
But they were named together.
There's a river. There must be some sort of a stream in the ocean. That's my prediction. That goes from Greece to Brazil.
Right. Apparently, the rumor goes is that in 1540, the Spanish explorer Francisco de Orellana was sailing down the Amazon and was attacked by a tribe of what he believed to be warrior women. So he named the river and the rainforest after the Amazon tribes from Greek mythology.
Oh, Amazonian tribal women. I have heard something about this.
Yeah, you know the Amazons, right?
Sorry?
You've heard the myths of the Amazons and that?
Well, I've just heard Amazonian woman as being like a very strong woman, but that's about it.
Well, there's a mythological tribe in Greek mythology which consisted entirely of warrior women.
Badass, I like it.
So then various Greek myths, they're referenced, or people see the Amazon women and that. So that's why like strong women are generally called it Amazonian. So when he saw a group of people attacking him and he believed them to be women, he was like, oh, these must be Amazons.
It kind of makes me think of Beyonce with her posse.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Or Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has a posse as well. And they're all very, like, powerful women. Like, powerful looking sort of. I would say Kardashians as well, but, like, they don't make the bar. They don't make the cut.
I don't think they do make the cut.
So the Amazons. Oh right, so essentially it comes from Greek mythology.
Yeah, that's what the naming comes. As we said in previous episodes, a lot of our names and stuff come from Greek mythology, don't they? Or come from ancient Greek at the very least. It's a very influential culture. Hello, it's Rob here. If you're the type of person that has more money than you know what to do with, and would like to give it to a couple grifters on the internet, then we're your guys. Link to the Rob's Map Patreon is in the show notes. Thank you for listening.
What do you actually think of the flag of Brazil?
What do I
think it's a good flag?
I love the design.
Yeah?
Big fan of the design. That was the reason I picked this episode, wasn't it? Because I like the flag. And then
was it?
Yeah, you said, oh, you get to pick one now. Pick a flag or something. Something like that. And I was like, oh, I like Brazil's flag. And then
oh yeah, and then you got so mad about how basic the thing was that you decided that you wanted to research a different country.
Well, stars for states, like, really?
You really don't like that, do you?
It's just not.
I think it's cool.
It went from being a really cool idea to like, and it is still pretty cool. I give him a pass for the unique design. The history is a bit like unique as well. It's not just a standard like red for like blood of people fight for their freedom or like blues for the republic. It's the two houses, which is cool. The two original houses, and like the fact that it is the night sky of the day it was formed is very cool. Yeah. So they get a pass.
They get a pass. See, what would you change about it? If you could change one thing about this flag, what would you change?
Oh, nothing, innit? I just changed that. I just changed them. I just personally just find it lame when it's like the stars, but I guess it makes sense if you're going to pick the stars from the day it was formed. Then you go, well, what else we got? We got a bunch of states, which they do have.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of states and a district capital which operates independent, like a state like itself, or like DC does.
Yeah.
It was designed that way as well because it was like we said before. It was Rio de Janeiro was the previous capital, and then in the 1950s they made Brasilia as to be specifically the new capital. So it was made from the ground up to be the capital.
Yeah. They made it in 41 months, didn't they?
Oh, did they? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They built that entire city in 41 months, which sounds kind of like Labour work ethics probably weren't being followed in that development. Nothing gets built that quickly. It's like
you
Chinese...
can't cast aspersions like that, Scott. See, when I started this podcast, I thought we'd have a nice fun chat about all the colourful countries of the world, and now it's like Scott's mission to antagonise every country in the world in true British fashion. Scott wants to antagonise every other country.
Which is, like I say, we're just crossing off places we can't visit.
Yeah, basically.
See, if I was going to make one change to this flag, the only thing that I would do is I'd either take the white banner off or make it arch around the top.
Yeah.
Like along the same line as the circle.
Yeah, when it comes to flags, I am not usually a huge fan of writing.
Yeah, it just doesn't... It's not in the same language that you're used to. It's not universal.
Well, no, it's just in Portuguese, like.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I would not like it if the UK flag had English text on it because it's not universal.
Yeah.
The idea of a flag is it's a symbol. Like you see, I mean, as much as it is a bit too much, you see the American flag and you think that's goddamn America. You see.
Oh, I love the American flag.
Do you?
Yeah. I know I moaned about the state.
I'm sorry. No, that's not okay. You cannot do this. You just complained about Brazil for having stars for states, and you're going to tell me America's good. They haven't even done anything invented with their stars for states.
I just like the aesthetic of the American flag. I think it looks nice.
What? This is unacceptable.
I just think maybe it's overexposure, but I do just like it. No, it's not like there's anything wrong with stars for states. It's just like not original. It's not very unique.
This conversation from 5 minutes ago disagrees.
I just thought it'd have more of an interesting thing. But no, I like flags with unique colours as well. Like you don't see green too often.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. But the American flag is too much, I think.
Because again, red, white, and blue. I don't really like when flags are like that. It's kind of like, so that American flag, mate. It's very good.
But yeah, I don't think that a flag. I feel like a flag should be a symbol. It should represent the nation.
Yeah.
And I feel like having text on the flag hinders that because it makes it more difficult to sort of like process.
Yeah. You've got to admit though, it does stand out.
Honestly, if it were me, I would take the text out and I'd take the stars out.
Yeah. I like the stars, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, now. Now you like the stars.
I don't want to take them out. I just said I found the meaning, like, because I was expecting to get a really cool, interesting, like, story behind it, and it was just like, yeah, they're just the states.
Oh, I'm sorry. The stars that were in the sky on the day they became independent isn't a cool enough story to justify having stars.
That is cool. That is cool. Well, maybe you've talked me around, Scott, innit? Maybe I do like the stars now.
All I'm saying is it would look better if there were no stars no text, no white banner, and no blue circle in the middle. I'm going plain green background, plain yellow rhombus. Because the rhombus is a weird enough shape that's not used in many other flags.
Yeah, no, you don't really know.
So that's a good enough sort of like symbol.
Oh, Scott, nah, I've just found this one actually. I got to send you this image.
Whatever this is going in the show notes.
Look at that.
Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, okay.
What are you looking at there, Scott?
Oh, God, it's the American flag if it was Brazil. Okay.
Nah,
Okay.
now we both know that the Brazilian flag is beautiful and we shouldn't criticise it. Because look at this monstrosity.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Do you know what that looks like? You know Green Day's American Idiot?
Yeah.
In the music video, there's a giant, like, tidal wave of green sludge that goes over the American flag.
Yeah. Iconic music video.
That looks like the result of that sludge.
Yeah, the way they got it, the way they did it in Brazil is the best way, isn't it?
Well, like I say, I think I would remove the central.
Yeah, that's it.
Take the text, take the blue circle out, yellow rhombus.
Ooh, no, I like the blue circle.
Nah. Yellow rhombus on the green field. That's unique enough. It's iconic. You can sort of see what that would look like, can't you?
Yeah. No, I prefer that one. How dare you criticise this flag, Scott? I've turned a corner now. I've chalked myself around. This is the best flag.
No, it's the best flag in the world, is it? The other thing that I think of, right, is would the flag look good in icon form? Like, you know, they have the emojis for different flags, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in the document the emoji for Brazil. Let me see if I can even see it in such small detail.
Where is it? I'm bringing them up on Discord right now. There we go. I'll send you on Discord. There you go.
Hey, tell me that looks like the Brazilian flag. That's too small. There's too much detail. Versus, right, what I would consider a good flag. All I'm saying is a flag should look good in emoji form, which that you can tell that's Ireland from a mile away.
Yeah, that is clean. The green and the orange look really clean. I really like that.
See, this is the thing is, to me now in this modern age, flags should look good in small.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to see all of the detail in small. By the way, in the American one, you can't see all the detail.
Yeah.
They've even reduced the amount of stars. Apparently, you know we were saying earlier about how, or in the clips one about America having another civil war. Apparently, the emoji is preempting it and already has taken half the stars off the fucking states.
I think those are all very nice flags. Like I say, when I was saying earlier about stars and colours and whatnot, it's just that you see the same ones like often, so it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It's refreshing when you see something different, you know?
Yeah, no, I get you. It's
just very much like South Africa's flag, beautiful.
What's that one? Oh, see, bloody good flag. I like that flag.
Yeah.
Although, didn't you say earlier, right? This is just me pointing out all of your
inconsistencies. Yeah.
So you said, what was it you hate? You didn't like the colours representing.
No, I didn't say I didn't like it. Well, maybe I did at the time, but what I mean is, I can't remember.
You definitely did.
Alright, and well, maybe you can edit that out for me, Scott. What I mean is, you just see them often, so it's refreshing when you see something different.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Like I do like Nepal's flag, which is
the triangle one.
Yeah, because it's distinctive. You can see it from a mile away. Where is it? You got it? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Although actually no, I don't like it. It's not good.
No, it doesn't look good in emoji form.
No.
You said it's got to look good in emoji form.
We should make a checklist of what good flag design needs. And I believe
Yeah.
the top 2 requirements of it should be no text and
Yeah.
it should look good as emoji. Do you want what looks great
Yeah.
as an emoji? Boom.
Oh, no, look at the proportions on that flag, though. I don't like the proportions on the Swiss flag.
You don't like the 1-to-1? That's perfect for emoji.
The proportion, it's not the same size as the other flag.
It's perfect for emoji.
No, it's
Really?
not the correct size.
Okay. I will add a 2-to-1 ratio or a 2/3, 2-to-3 ratio as a stipulation. What's your favourite flag looking down the list?
My favourite flag.
I swear to God, if you do America, you've watched too much American TV.
I don't like the copycats. I don't like the copycats of American's flag. I don't like the copycats of the American flag. Do you know what? Right now, I would say I might give it to Norway.
Nice. Good. My one would be... Boom.
Turkey.
Very nice, simple, just a basic moon and star.
This is great for a podcast because no one can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I'll put all of these in the notes.